новейшие отрасли человечества. Хочу еще добавить.
Вклад в развитие человечества могут оказать атомные знания и технологии даже на современном этапе.
Как, на ваш взгляд, изменит ввод этой эксплуатации энергетику республики? И планируете ли вы, чтобы сразу ответить, продолжение этой истории и строительство еще электростанций атомных в Турции?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. And frankly, the name of this session is Pride, Inspiration, Dreams. Quite nice words. But beyond this, the nuclear for Turkey, and I believe for the rest of the world, for many countries, it's a necessity. And I will explain why it is a necessity for Turkish energy market. And let me give you an illustration about our energy market from a two main perspective, from the demand side and the supply side. When you look at the demand side, in Turkish power market is a growing market. The demand in Turkey is growing, constantly is growing. If you look at the last 2 decades, Turkish power demand almost tripled due to the fact that our population is growing, our industry is growing, our economy is growing. So the growing economies require energy. The energy demand is growing for these purposes. Urbanization is another reason that our energy demand is increasing. And this is the past. This is last 4 quarters, last 4 decades, last 2 decades. There was a significant demand growth. When you look at the future, our forecast, our moderate forecast is telling us that this energy demand will continue to increase 4% annually. It's again moderate forecast. And if you add the new kids on the block, which is the AI, big data, digitalization, I think this forecast that we are making for 2035 and 2050 will be even higher. We'll see the higher energy demand in our country, in the global market as well. So demand is growing, will continue to grow, and we need to meet this growing demand. We need to invest our install capacity, power install capacity. When you look at the supply side, there is an interesting development. As of today, Turkey is getting 1/3 of energy from coal. Coal power generation is quite significant in Turkey. But if you ask me, are we going to build new coal power generation in Turkey? It's not going to be easy. We all know what are the factors is affecting this investment decision. To attract finance, very difficult. To build new coal power generation is not going to be easy. To keep the existing fleet is not going to be easy. So the coal is in difficult situation. When you look at the hydropower generation in Turkey, we are almost fully utilized our potential. So almost existing potential fully utilized. When you look at the gas, unfortunately, is becoming even more political each and every day. Look at the supply side developments. Look at the developments in the Middle East, and so many artificial barriers such as sanctions and this and that. So the gas and volatility in the market, the price of gas, so it doesn't give us like a very bright signals. I'm not against natural gas, by the way, don't get me wrong. But when you look at this perspective in a long horizon, and one last thing for our markets and for the global markets, everybody is in rush to invest on renewables, solar, wind, which is extremely good. But on the other hand, all these resources are intermittent resources. Solar, wind, what if sun doesn't shine? What if wind doesn't blow? So that's why you need to have a clean source baseload energy. And what is the ultimate answer to this? Nuclear. That's why I said it is beyond the dream that Turkey would like to have a nuclear power generation, but it is a necessity for our economy. To economic development, for sustainable development, we need to have a clean source of baseload energy. And nuclear somehow addressing all these factors. It's clean, zero emission. It is strong baseload energy that we need. So we would like to combine all these, the energy mix in the future with renewables plus nuclear. And that's why beyond Akkuyu, beyond these 4 reactors that we are building together with Rosatom successfully, Turkey needs additional 8 reactors, and Turkey needs additional at least 5 gigawatt of small modular reactors. And our goal is to have 20 gigawatt of nuclear power generation by the mid-century. So it is a necessity. It is the matter of security of supply of Turkey that we need to provide our citizens to have them a secure energy supply, of course, in an affordable manner. Thank you. Sure. First of all, I would like to say any project, but especially nuclear projects, have 3 major dimensions and 3 major impacts on, in general, economy. Number 1 is technical side, which I mentioned a little bit about, the supply of energy, security of supply. And also, I forgot to mention, when I said that it is necessity for Turkey, remember in April, the whole world watched what happened in Spain and Portugal. If you don't have a strong, balanced energy mix, you might have difficulty on supplying energy to your citizens. So technical side is very important. Second, economical side is very important. Any project, especially nuclear projects, there should be some economic aspect. But the third is that there is a social aspect. When you look at this economic and social aspect, when you look at Akkuyu, you see a tremendous developments around this project. Economic aspect, because of Akkuyu, we were able to attract almost 300 companies in Turkey, industrial companies, builders, manufacturers, industrial producers, created an ecosystem around Akkuyu project. So this is number 1. And of course, thousands of people now working for those companies. Besides the more than 30,000 people works at the site. So there's a labor aspect, there's a job creation aspect, but also some social aspect that these projects giving the local communities, which we are very glad that Rosatom is acting really responsibly on this, and basically make a lot of contributions to the local communities in this small city in Turkey. So this is another aspect that this nuclear power generation within the country gives a lot of opportunities and hope for the rest of the community. So job creation and industrial development is very essential part of our strategy to build additional nuclear power plants. And we are also building a very important skill for the workers, for the companies. Now they are trying to export these new skills and experience to the other projects. Pakshtu in Hungary, some new projects in Egypt, for instance. So this is also creating additional opportunities for these companies. And we send, the human capital development is another aspect that we send hundreds of young kids to study in Russia for their graduate studies and for also undergraduate studies. So we are building this human capital as well. So all these aspects makes a really nuclear energy is a key driver for our economy. So that's why it is part of our economic development. That's why it is part of our industrial development and sustainable future for our energy. Thank you.
Энергии Узбекистана. Как Узбекистан сейчас работает с мирным атомом? Вот именно с мирным. Какие
вдохновлений мечта. И я бы хотел воспользоваться возможностью поблагодарить Росатом и лично Алексея Евгеньевича за то, что предоставил такую возможность.
Эффективности все это должно быть подтверждено. И вот в 2019 году мы провели такое первое.
Every day, look at the supply side developments, look at the developments in the Middle East, and so many extremely good. But on the other hand, all these resources are intermittent resources. Solar, wind, what if sun doesn't? Somehow addressing all these factors. It's clean, zero emission. It is strong. The matter of security of supply of Turkey that we need to provide our citizens.
Ну что ж, если Турции надо, вы сможете как-то договориться? Есть возможность?
Я не уполномочен.
О том, что атомная станция Беларуси должна быть самая безопасная. И мы должны найти такого партнера, который сможет нам обеспечить вот эту самая безопасная станция.
Sure. First of all, I would like to say any project, but especially nuclear projects, and social aspect. When you look at Akkuyu, you see a tremendous developments around this project. Economic aspect, because created an ecosystem around Akkuyu project. So this is number one, and of course, thousands of very important skill for the workers, for the companies. Now they are trying to export this new skills and experience to the other projects. Pakshtu in